Coverage. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps, celebrating 250 years. And in Washington, D.C. on Saturday at a birthday ball, Vice President J.D. Vance.
Peace through strength. We are fighting for peace every single day in the White House, every single day in the Oval Office. We achieve peace because you, the Marine Corps, are our strength, and we won't forget it or have. Thank you, Marines.
Vance, by the way, is the first ever Marine to hold the vice president position in U.S. history. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. We've got stocks charging ahead here at the open. The Dow Jones Industrial still up 155. NASDAQ is ahead by 444 right now. And the S&P 500 index up 78. That is the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hant. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Did you wake up and love the cold as much as I did?
Absolutely.
It was exciting. And I think it was Stefano Di Pietro who said on Friday that there would be no worry flurries. And that phrase has taken over my home. All weekend long. The no worry flurry. It was fun. I like a little bit of snow. I wanted to accumulate. We bought the kids. Excuse me. Let me back that up. Santa brought the kids some sleds a couple Christmases ago, and we deserve an ROI on those sleds, and I demand more sledding days.
There you go. Well, we're going to get them.
Let's pray. Let's pray.
See, doesn't it make it feel like, because you and I came from the Northeast, it's kind of that like, hey, a little taste of home.
Yep, it feels like it. It feels like
Yeah.
it, and I'll enjoy it for a couple days, and then I'll be miserable like everybody else.
Right.
I'll settle back into my Boston roots and just hate everything. That's always classic.
Just get a hot chocolate. You'll be fine.
We were talking earlier about the Poop Festival, Gorhaba, and my
Not
wife.
because we wanted to, but
My wife weighed in. I had said, I would do it for like 15,000. And then she said, y'all are sick. And I said, you wouldn't let me do it for 15K? Don't lie. And she just texted back. She said, I'd let you do it for 5K. we got a lot of kids, guys. We got a lot of kids. Make sure to hit like and subscribe on YouTube and Rumble so we can help feed those kids and grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We appreciate you helping us do that. It takes all of us. If every listener would subscribe to the YouTube channel, it would greatly help the radio station. We say it a lot, but it really does help. We got a lot to cover today. Donald Trump has a big visitor coming to the White House. Former al-Qaeda leader, Syrian leader now, Ahmed al-Sharaa. He's going to be at the White House at 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central our time. We're going to be covering that live. It's going to be an interesting meeting because if you know anything about this guy, got a bit of a checkered past. Let's say that, a bit of a checkered past. He was in al-Qaeda in Iraq from 2003 to 2006, ambushed U.S. soldiers, built roadside bombs, honed his craft under Zarqawi's insurgency, radicalized further in U.S. prisons. He was with the Islamic State of Iraq 2006 to 2012, protege of al-Baghdadi. You may remember that from Donald Trump. He died like a dog. Abu. He died like a dog. Al-Baghdadi. Laying the groundwork for the ISIS caliphate. He was handpicked to expand jihad into Syria. Then he founded and commanded al-Qaeda's Syrian branch, directing suicide bombings in Damascus and Aleppo. He recruited foreign jihadis, funneled Gulf money, and institutionalized terror as Syria burned from 2012 to 2016. He was 2017 to present. He rebranded Nursa into HTS and turned Idlib into a jihadist statelet with Sharia courts, torture prisons, public executions. His forces massacred minorities, extorted civilians, and paraded women through the streets after Assad's fall. This is who's coming to the White House today. This is who's going to be welcomed. Interesting. I want to see what happens. I don't know. Let's see what goes down. Let's also not approach it from an ivory tower. Many people do many awful things. That doesn't mean that we can't try and find some agreement. I don't know how we find an agreement with this guy, but let's see what Donald Trump does. Let's see what happens. He's going to be visiting the White House at 10 o'clock Central Time. We'll be here for that. Elsewhere in Trump land, more pardons have been announced this morning, which is interesting to say the least. President Trump has issued a bunch of new pardons. No MAGA man left behind. Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Mark Meadows, Tyler Boyer, Turning Point Action, Turning Point USA, Sidney Powell, Jeffrey Clark, several others receiving pardons from President Trump this morning. This is good. This is good. A lot of these individuals were in the fight with President Trump every step of the way. They should be rewarded for having Donald Trump's back. Another big story over the weekend, which is fascinating, the January 6th Pipebomber. Was she exposed? Have you seen this story?
This is really incredible.
I saw a picture of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but she looks like a lunatic leftist. Is it just me?
No.
Okay.
But the way they figured it out, or may have figured it out, I guess you should say, is the most amazing thing I think I've ever seen.
Now, it's important to point out the FBI is not confirming any of this reporting right now. Currently, the FBI is not signing on, co-signing, giving a thumbs up to any of this reporting. You may have a thought in your head, well, that's because of the implications. And maybe that's the case. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the case. But we have some of the reporting here. It really got broken by The Blaze and Steve Baker. Joe Hoff was reporting on this as well with Gateway Pundit. And Steve Baker, The Blaze, has been covering the story all week. Gateway Pundit has the breakdown. Blaze has the breakdown. Baker reported on the Blaze's determination that Shawnee Kirchhoff was the pipe bomber. Shawnee Kirchhoff, which is interesting to say the least. I'm going to put a picture up of her up on the screen, and you tell me what you think. It looks like somebody that would do it. I don't know. It looks like a lady who is a bit leaning to the left. So this is how they break down. Baker reported on the Blaze's determination that Shawnee Kirchhoff was the pipe bomber. A software algorithm that analyzes walking parameters, including flexion, which is knee bend, hip extension, speed, step length, cadence, and variance, rated Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, 31, of Alexandria, Virginia, as a 94% match to the bomb suspect, shown on video from January 5th, 2021. The veteran analyst who ran the analysis for Blaze News said that based on visual observations the program can struggle with, he personally pegged the match at closer to 98%. Here's where it gets wild. Kirchhoff was a Capitol Police officer for 4.5 years. Left the department in mid-2021 to work for who? The CIA. Yep. Let that sink in. So a Capitol Police officer was planting the pipe bombs, then left the gig about 6 months after this to work for the CIA.
I think that dog will hunt.
I don't think there's anything weird here at all. Take off your tinfoil hat, you conspiracy lunatic. What are you doing? So what do we know about January 6th now? What was it, like a few hundred FBI informants in the crowd? Now we know that the person who was planting the pipe bombs, allegedly, was a Capitol Police officer who went on to work for the CIA. It's also important to point out that it was the pipe bombs that got the election certified. It wasn't the rioting outside. It was the pipe bombs. CIA spokeswoman Liz Lyons stated that the subject worked in campus security. That's it. She just does security. Don't look into it any further. Kirchhoff's residence in Alexandria, Virginia, appeared to be under the watch of law enforcement officers on Friday night. Blaze News editor-in-chief Christopher Bedford was pulled over by local police after stopping to observe the home. He was then allowed to leave close to the bomb suspect. The FBI, which failed to solve the case in nearly 5 years of investigation, but indicated that it was closing in after Blaze News brought its investigation to intelligence sources, was feet from the Falls Church address of the pipe bomb suspect days after January 6th, according to a Blaze News investigation. This is another interesting wrinkle. Kyle Seraphin is reporting that they were literally doing surveillance on these individuals at the house next door. And right as they were getting close to nailing this individual, they were pulled off the detail. That's interesting. It's really weird. Thomas Massey was talking about it, saying, America is waking up today to learn that Capitol Police turned CIA orchestrated the pipe bombs on January 6th, and the FBI has covered it up for over 4 years. I questioned FBI Director Ray, ATF Director Dettelbach, and FBI Assistant Director over D.C., D'Antuono, under oath, all played dumb. Are you shocked by that? Shawnee Kirchhoff testified that she was also launching pepper balls on the unsuspecting pro-Trump crowd on January 6th. Kirchhoff admitted to firing 30 to 40 pepper balls directly at Guy Reffitt that day. This is via Courthouse News. A former U.S. Capitol Police officer testified Wednesday about how she repeatedly launched pepper balls at a Texas man in an attempt to stop him from leading a mob towards the Capitol on January 6th. Every time he took a step, they took a step, she said. It was becoming a dire situation. Kirchhoff is the government's first witness in the case against Guy Reffitt, the first Capitol riot defendant to go to trial. He's accused of charging at police with a gun holstered on his waist during the riot. During Wednesday's hearing, Kirchhoff told the jury that she confronted Reffitt when he climbed onto a banister on the west side of the Capitol. After repeatedly ignoring her commands to back up, she launched maybe 30 to 40 pepper balls at him. The entire January 6th riot was planned and executed to ensure the fraudulent election was certified and to persecute and punish the MAGA supporters across the country. Gateway Pundit reports heads need to roll. Associate Deputy Attorney General Ed Martin appeared to break his silence on the January 6th pipe bomber news with mysterious social media posts on Friday as news broke that January 6th pipe bomb suspect had been identified. Another post claiming that Martin had determined the identity of the J6th pipe bomber. Martin denied that the determination was made. Again, the FBI is not confirming any of this. They went on record with reporter Brianna Morello officially. They claim that they are still investigating who placed the pipe bombs on Capitol Hill, saying if you know who did it, the agency says $500,000 is still up for grabs. This is the FBI statement given to Brianna Morello. The investigation into who placed the pipe bombs on Capitol Hill on January 5th, 2021 remains a high priority for the FBI and our law enforcement partners. A $500,000 reward remains in effect for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the individual who placed the pipe bombs. The tips we've received so far from the American people, including open source leads, have helped us advance the investigation with expediency and professionalism, and we ask the public to continue to assist us by taking a fresh look at our Seeking Information webpage, which includes images and updated video of the suspect's backpack, the suspect's shoes, the explosive devices, and a map of the route the suspect walked the night the pipe bombs were placed. We urge anyone who may have previously hesitated to come forward or who may not have realized they had important information to contact us and share anything relevant. Anyone with information should call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit tips online to tips.fbi.gov. So what do you think? Did we get the J6th Pipebomber? I don't know. I think you look at the statement from the FBI and it's just a total non-answer. They give no information. They can't confirm or deny, and they are quickly, seemingly trying to move on. I want to see this person have the book thrown at them, personally. What are we waiting for? Why is it that independent journalists seem to get more done than the entire power structure of the FBI? It's wild to me. It's just another insane, weird coincidence. Why was it that they were surveilling the house and that they got pulled off at the last minute? These are questions that we have, questions that need to get answered. And it seems like with all the money that we threw at this, we didn't get any answers. It seems like all the money that was used for this was to silence the real calls for justice. And again, Kyle Seraphin, who was with the FBI doing investigative work, says that he was pulled from the scene when they were surveilling this person. This is the craziest story. Kirchhoff was hired by Capitol Police in 2018. She testified in that Jan 6 criminal trial that she applied for her current job before January 6th and left the United States Capitol Police in good standing. The Capitol Police have not responded to Blaze News' request for comment on the pipe bomb case. Blaze News also reached out to the FBI and DOJ, but did not get a reply at the time of publication. Insane. The whole thing is absolutely insane. And I don't think that they want you to know anything about it. They don't even want us talking about it. And I don't know about you. I haven't seen much mainstream media coverage about this at all. Fox hasn't picked up on it. I haven't seen anything on Newsmax about it. CNN, MSNBC, I'm not going to hold my breath. ABC, CBS, Fox, yeah, obviously not. But where are the conservatives on this one? We need more answers. We just do. And it doesn't seem like we're getting any information from the most transparent FBI in history, right? So we'll see. I don't want to hold my breath. But it looks like they got her. It looks like somebody who would do something unhinged. Looks like somebody who's a leftist. And we all know things about leftists and violence. We'll keep you updated as more updates become available. It's 9:20. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Floor Nashville, and I want you to support businesses that don't hate you. Floor Nashville is exactly one of those businesses. They lead with their faith, and when you support a business with biblical values, you're helping keep revival alive right here in Nashville. This is exactly what Floor Nashville is all about. I know Ricky Dar, the owner, great guy. They've been doing this for over 25 years, serving our community with craftsmanship and care you can count on. They'll bring the showroom straight to your home. You can sample flooring in your own space, get expert guidance from professional installers, and enjoy same-day in-home estimates that will be delivered electronically to you the next day. From hardwood to carpet to tile, luxury vinyl, custom showers, Floor Nashville does it all with precision installations every single time. Now, beyond the beautiful floors, Ricky Dar then takes a portion of the proceeds and gives back through Revive the City, which is a local outreach bringing hope and faith to Nashville every first and third Saturday. You can learn more about their mission to spread the gospel at revivenashville.net, and you can learn more about how to transform your space and support a local Christian business making a difference at floornashville.com, or you can give them a call, 615-613-4684. That's 615-613-4684, floornashville.com.
A shooting outside the courthouse in Nashville. And is measles about to storm the area? What a local doctor has to say about that. That and more coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Looking forward to the headlines. As always, Joan brings you real news, not fake news. She saves that for the morning show.
2/3 of the morning show's still here.
Fair. I'm just being a jerk. Wanted to make sure you're paying attention. It's 927, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So the government shutdown is officially over, right? Not officially, but we're trending in that direction. Some procedural stuff is going to be taking place today that will officially end the government shutdown. Donald Trump was talking about it last night.
We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon. Thank you very much.
We'll never give any money to illegal aliens, prisoners, people coming into our country, the mental institutions. We've heard about those. I saw a story going around last night. It was like some guy got orders to kill via cockroach, and he was an illegal alien. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, it's a guy in Texas, illegal alien, and a cockroach told him that he needed to kill people. So he did.
Was it his buddy named Cockroach?
No, he said it was a bug. It was a bug. So, listen, when they say that they're coming in from mental institutions and insane asylums, this is exactly the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Just weird stuff. The government being shut down, Scott Jennings wasted no time taking a victory lap on social media, saying, hey, you know when I called this? After the elections on Tuesday.
How are Republicans going to use leverage in their fight with Democrats when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters?
Well, I'm sure Democrats will be more than happy to open the government now. The election's over. I mean, part of the reason they shut it down was to get through tonight.
I mean, I
would suspect they'll be glad to open it up by the end of the week.
Adam Schiff, he was like, hold the line.
AOC, there's lots of rumors of people wanting to open it.
Look, I don't see what is the incentive for Democrats to back down when voters are basically saying Trump's not doing enough, it's the Republicans' fault, and then they basically handed the keys in this past election to the Democrats. Where's the leverage?
Again, these are blue states electing Democrats, not a shock. Democrats clearly wanted this shutdown to get through Election Day. I do think they are facing pressure from their internal coalitions. The unions, the air traffic controllers, the government employee unions are desperate to get the government back open. They're feeling a little bit of internal heat. But again, the election's now over. I'm sure tomorrow morning phones will start ringing and it'll be open soon enough. This was a political shutdown, and that's what they did, and now we're through the election day.
Yeah, Scott Jennings is right. We all kind of saw this coming. We saw the writing on the wall. The Democrats are trying to leverage hungry people against the president. It didn't work. By the way, I did find that news story. It wasn't a Texas guy, so I was sharing fake news. It was a New Mexico man who got the message to kill via cockroach.
You're fired.
I'm serious. Listen to this. This is a real news story, by the way.
Well, new today, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office is investigating a double homicide in the South Valley. According to a criminal complaint, the suspect says that a cockroach told them to do it. Well, deputies say Alexis Hernandez is now charged with 2 open counts of murder. According to the sheriff's office, they were called to a home near Rio Bravo and Isleta last night after reports of gunfire. When they arrived, Hernandez reportedly answered the door armed with a gun, and they say he was also wearing a Marine saber, a sword, on his hip. According to the police report, Hernandez told deputies that there were 2 dead men inside. There were also 2 unharmed children there. Hernandez reportedly told deputies cockroaches sent him a message yesterday. He is now charged with 2 counts of homicide.
Democrats want these kinds of people voting for them. Democrats want you paying for their health insurance. Democrats are just insane. This is what Donald Trump means when he says that people are coming from insane asylums and mental institutions. It's individuals like this. And Democrats, they want you to view them as newcomers. This illegal alien, this is a New Mexico man, just in case you're keeping score at home. 931, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is now 9:31, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There is a closure to tell you about this morning. 40 westbound between Monterey, Livingston, exit 300 and Cookville. The roadway is closed down on the westbound side at the moment. So many crashes because the roads are snow covered in that area this morning. We'll keep you updated on this. Again, it's 40 westbound between Monterey, Livingston. That's exit 300 and Cookville. 40 westbound closed down because of too many accidents involved in the dusting of snow that's on the roadways right now. In the news, Metro Nashville police investigating a shooting outside the courthouse this morning. Happened around 8:40 outside the Birch building, which houses the Davidson County criminal and civil courtrooms. Police are saying that the woman was grazed by a bullet during an argument there. She was taken to a hospital. She's going to be okay. The shooter fled in a Dodge Journey. The courthouse was not placed on lockdown. The first measles case since 2005, now in the Nashville area. It is a Davidson County resident who is now isolating. Vandy doctor Manny Sethi says measles is very infectious.
Very highly airborne, transmissible. So if you're around it and you're not vaccinated, you're probably going to get it. Most people can beat it, just kind of controlling the fever, hydrating. But, it can, in certain cases, be devastating.
He was speaking there on the Dan Mandis show. The health department's working to identify anyone who may have come in contact with that patient while they were still infectious. To Chicago, where the search is on for a man who fired shots at immigration agents on Saturday.
The crowd was demanding a detained woman's release when the Department of Homeland Security says a man driving a black Jeep fired the shots and then took off. The agency saying protesters also threw bricks and a paint can at their vehicles, calling those in the crowd agitators. But some residents say the federal agents were overly aggressive.
ABC's Alex Stone just crossing the wires this morning. Another strike on drug smuggling vessels. War Secretary Pete Hegseth saying that 2 boats operated by designated terrorist organizations were hit in international waters. Happened yesterday in the Eastern Pacific. Hegseth saying all 6 crew members on those vessels were killed. No U.S. forces were harmed. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for Zero Res. 4 kids, 2 dogs. You can imagine what my floors go through. It's a bit of chaos. And we used to really stress out about it, but we don't anymore. We call Zero Res. They're the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water, which leaves no soap, no harsh chemicals, and no residue behind. If you got family coming over for the holidays and you want to spruce the place up, right now you can get any room in your house cleaned for $45. And it's not just carpets. They do the works. Air ducts, tiles, rugs, upholstery. They're going to make your place look immaculate before company comes over for Thanksgiving. What you need to do is book them online today. ZeroResNashville.com, or you can pick up the phone and give them a call. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. 4,500 Google reviews, 98% Facebook recommendations. You can't go wrong with Zero Res. ZeroResNashville.com.
It's strange, Dean, to go back to the
$9:39, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom. We got Sam Rutherford producing today. Mason's out. He's fine. He just has a regularly scheduled day off.
Yeah, he wanted to take a trip.
This is what he does. Mason's always like gallivanting about whenever he's not in the studio. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
He's single and he can gallivant.
He's pro gallivanting.
Yeah.
Which it makes us question a lot about Mason.
Out there running into measles.
Yeah, he's out there. I don't think he's vaccinated either. I don't know, just letting you know. I don't think he's pro-vaccination, that guy. I'm not, no, I don't worry about measles. Do you worry about measles?
No.
No, we got bigger fish to fry. What's
do you remember when the Brady Bunch had the measles? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It used to be a normal thing. And they were like, you're going to be fine. They were like, quit being a baby.
Right. It was that way when I was a kid.
Toughen up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Dr. Manny Sethi wants you to get vaccinated, though.
He does.
Which was weird. Not a fan. Plus, especially and I'm not a doctor, full disclosure, but the MMR vaccine, there's some questions about it.
You could play one on TV.
I could.
Couldn't we all?
And with all the other stuff going on, you know what Sam is spending the commercial break doing? He's debating the greatness of green bean casserole with me.
There's no debate. It's made properly.
I'm not a huge green bean casserole guy. My wife loves it. The kids love it. I don't get down.
You've been sold a bed of lies your whole life. It's not supposed to be cream of mushroom soup.
Well, you're going to have to take that up with my mother-in-law. That is above my pay grade.
I will. I'll have a bake-off.
I'll give you her number. How do you do your green bean casserole?
Swiss cheese roux with sour cream added to it, right? Green beans, crispy onions.
Joan, what do you say?
I go with the old can of mushroom soup. And what are they? The onion, crispy onion thingies on top?
Onions.
Heavy on those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned way.
I feel like you're just taking extra steps, Sam, to make a dish that nobody really cares for.
I don't know. In my family, there's fisticuffs occasionally.
I'm making like 10 pounds of stuffing this year.
Ooh.
See, stuffing is it.
That's the ticket right there, Joan. That's it.
Is it stuffing or is it dressing?
It's stuffing.
It's
poor
stuffing.
bird.
I stuffed that whole thing. Right.
Do you make it with like sausage?
Yeah,
Cornbread,
I
sausage.
Do. So I do sausage, onions, veggies.
Yeah.
I get like good Italian bread.
Yes.
Dice that up.
Hold on. I mean, you can't get good Italian bread around here for the most part.
No, you can get it. We usually go to Kroger. They have a bunch of Italians in the back. I've checked.
Yeah.
I poked my head back there. They said, "Mamma mia, what are you doing back here?" I said,
You get
"All
a
right."
response. Then
I said,
you're
this,
okay.
I said, "This checks out." Carry on, fellas. I'm glad there's no women back here. That's what I said.
Oh, man.
Because it'd be sexist, Joan.
Jeez.
I'm just kidding. There were no Italians. All right. So the government shutdown is officially over. CNN saying the quiet part out loud. The Democrat shutdown is over.
We've got plenty more on the other side. We will talk much more about this. Again, you're looking live at the Senate floor as the Democratic filibuster has been broken. We have so far reached 60. We're waiting for the official count. But right now, 60 votes that would unlock moving forward with this plan to reopen the government on the Senate.
The Democrat filibuster has been broken, you say? Oh, weird. So now, listen, just last week, it was Friday. It was Friday. We were talking about 87% of the news coverage had been blaming Republicans. Now that it's over, the CNNs of the world will tell you the truth. The Democrat filibuster has been broken. The Democrats wanted to inflict pain among the American people because they knew that it was a leverage point. That's the only reason they did it. And they were staring down the barrel of some mighty fine leverage, mind you. SNAP benefits coming to a close. The flight cancellations that we saw over the weekend, staring down the barrel of Thanksgiving. And they knew that they were going to continue to hemorrhage support for this. So you had some of the middle-of-the-road Democrats come over. President Trump successfully winning this battle, giving the Republicans some leverage, forcing moderate Democrats to cave. The funding, this is my favorite part, the funding is going to be set through January 30th. Which is great, so we don't have to deal with this over the holidays. Because that was my big fear, is that we're gonna get the government shutdown done, and then it's gonna be 2 weeks, and then we're gonna be like up against it with the holidays again and doing the same thing. The past couple weeks have felt like Groundhog's Day on the news. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like, oh, another day of the Democrat government shutdown. Cool. The only main GOP concessions: allowing an ACA vote next month, not supporting it, not voting for it. Allowing it. Cool. Congrats. And reportedly rolling back government shutdown-induced layoffs. Can't win them all. I want more layoffs. I was hoping they'd be permanent. Negotiations.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not exactly happy about it, but here we are. MSNBC finally realizing what's going on. MSNBC, you got to love MSNBC. They finally realized last night that the Democrats only kept the shutdown going because of the elections on Tuesday. This is something that we realized, 2-3 weeks ago? Scott Jennings took his victory lap on X last night, saying I called this after the elections. MSNBC just coming to that realization last night.
It's strange, Dean, to go back to the original sort of part of this conversation of whether he is a good deal maker. I mean, in a way, it seems like the president is kind of getting what he wanted 40 days ago when all this started. He was out there saying that, oh, this is all about Democrats trying to give health care to illegal immigrants. He just said that to reporters moments ago, repeated that refrain that Democrats had actually very successfully pushed back against. Then there's all this energy. In the wake of the election on Tuesday, the president made remarks saying basically, wow, Republicans are being harmed by all of this, acknowledging that he was on his back foot. And now here he is. Winning again? How did he do it?
The Democrats.
I love it. And now here he is, winning again? How does he keep getting away with it? How can the orange man do this? We were winning. Don't you remember that?
Are you also picturing the scene from Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone is.
And now here he is, winning again?
Winning again? Winning again? Sorry. I don't mean to do it, but...
And then
here he is, winning again?
Then he got in the booth on Fox.
Oh, my gosh. How good was he?
He was amazing.
Well, we got the play-by-play. It's probably going to get us kicked off of YouTube, though.
Worth it.
Worth it. 100%. Every single time. We're going to play that later on the show. Don't worry. Don't you worry. But here's President Trump over the weekend. What was he doing? One more time?
His back foot. And now here he is, winning again? How did he do it?
Look, Democrats, I don't understand how a Democratic senator goes, wow, we won really big. Let me cave now. I don't understand. That makes no sense to me.
Well, maybe to Anthony's point, if they were cynical, like if we wanted just to hold this out until we get through the election, and then after the election, we got the wins,
It's strange,
Yeah,
Dean.
they're waking up to the fact that Democrat senators only cared about the elections that were coming up. They only cared about using this as leverage, and now they see it as a losing proposition. Tim Kaine was asked about it. And he doesn't seem to have any idea what's going on about anything. He admitted on camera that he's been voting no to reopening the government and didn't know why. This was Tim Kaine earlier this morning.
Do you wish that you would have started looking for this off-ramp sooner? You said that Republicans were never going to change in their position.
I didn't fully understand how dug in they were, again, because I was so focused on the Virginia elections. I wasn't in this discussion on the healthcare to see how dug in they were. But even as I was not part of these discussions, I was saying to Thune and others on the floor going back, listen, I need you, some of you heard me say this in the hall, I need a moratorium on mischief. Others are working on the healthcare thing. I trust them. Others are working on the approach thing. I trust them. I need a moratorium on mischief, because if we vote to open and then the immediate step next week is Donald Trump fires a lot more people, it's going to blow up trust to get the full year deal. And so I've been preaching this moratorium on mischief for a month, but I think partly why did they finally give me the moratorium on mischief on RIFs? They needed my vote, but they also saw the election on Tuesday.
I need a moratorium on mischief. Oh, gee whiz, guys. Says the guy who was supporting the AG that wanted to watch Republicans' kids die in their parents' arms. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And the urination on the graves.
I need a moratorium on the mischief, guys. I don't know what's going on.
You need a hairdresser that doesn't hate you, Tim Kaine.
He does. Well, okay. If that ever happens to my hair, like I'm shaving it, I'm going full Mandis. Everybody understands that, right?
You just hope the aneurysms don't come with it.
Tim Kaine would look so much cooler if he shaved his head and grew a beard. Does everybody understand that? Does Tim understand that? Oh, I need a moratorium.
Oh, jeez.
I need a moratorium on mischief. This is just, it's pathetic. It's sad. I mean, we can make fun of Tim Kaine, but he's a lousy human being at the end of the day. The way he shilled for Jay Jones as AG of Virginia can't be forgotten, can't be forgiven. He's like, oh, I know Jay. That's the problem, Tim. That's part of the problem. It's not, doesn't make it any better. It actually makes it worse. I didn't know why we were voting to keep the government closed. You're making it worse, Tim. You're making it worse. Millions of Americans going hungry. All these guys, air traffic controllers, military, going without their paycheck. We didn't even know why. Oh, okay. You think anybody in Democratic leadership is like, Tim, stop talking? No, they're not. Leadership's worried about getting primaried currently. Let's be perfectly honest. We'll have more on the government shutdown on the way. A couple of people weighing in. Senator Angus King, he's one of the moderate Democrats that crossed the line to reopen the government, and he made the left even a bit angrier, as he said, standing up to Donald Trump just didn't work. We'll bring you that when we get back. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. You know them as the guys you need to call whenever you have any waterproofing issues or foundation repair that needs to be done. Or maybe even worse, you know them as the guys that you should have called. You see the red flags around your home, the cracks in the drywall, sagging floors, doors that just won't shut right, and you know what those red flags are. They're warning signs that you could have something much more sinister happening right beneath your feet. You could have foundation issues, and a solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home. When it weakens, it's only going to get worse. It's never going to fix itself. This is why we stand behind United Structural Systems. These guys have been doing the work since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS is going to use American-made adjustable steel supports built to last and backed with a transferable warranty. Even if they leave, you leave the house, the warranty can stay. That's how confident they are in the work that they do. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, they're going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your house, don't kick the can down the road anymore. Call USS today. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Coming up, we're learning more. It was a road rage incident. More on the shooting outside the downtown courthouse earlier this morning. Also, still closed on I-40 westbound today between Crossville, roughly, and Cookville. The roads are snow covered. There are several accidents being worked on, and 40 westbound is closed in that spot. We've got more coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Which Ville did you say, Cook or Clark's?
Between Crossville and Cookville on I-40 westbound. That whole section.
Sledding season's good, baby.
Oh, yeah. Good place to go, I guess.
Joan Jones on the way with the headlines. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're talking about the government shutdown. I said the only thing that we gave up was rolling back the layoffs that happened during the shutdown. And we're giving them a vote on Obamacare subsidies in December. Got a text here from 6766 who decided to wake up this morning and choose violence. 6766. No, wait for this text. He really did. He really woke up and chose violence. He said, you know damn well that some handful of, and I'll edit this, crappy Republicans are going to vote with the Dems on that ACA vote. Ready for the violence part? Also, casserole is a swear word in my house. Disgusting Midwestern garbage. Whoa. All right. I don't know. Maybe some Republicans will vote for him. I don't know. I tend to think not.
So what? Hold on. What do you call your dishes that are, an amalgamation of various ingredients baked into one dish?
It says here, disgusting Midwestern garbage. I love you guys. Bobby in Nash Vegas wants to talk about Trump winning. I met Bobby at church on Sunday. Bobby and his beautiful wife. What's up, Bob?
Hey, bro.
You hung up on Bobby? This never happens with Mason. This never...
Bobby, call back. I hit the wrong button.
Bobby.
Dan doesn't take phone calls.
I would never have done that to you. Mason would have never done that to you. Just want to let you know. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I can't believe... I just met Bobby at church yesterday.
Bobby can blame me.
We all are going to blame Sam Rutherford. Also, the person that said disgusting Midwestern garbage has now shamed me for assuming the gender. Apparently that was a lady who texted in about disgusting Midwestern garbage casseroles. Sorry, ma'am. It's ma'am. It's ma'am. Sorry. On the way, we'll talk a little bit more about the government shutdown. Hopefully, Bobby can call back and Sam won't hang up on him again. And we can talk about anything else you guys want to talk about. 615-737-9986. Make sure you find us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, now 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Freezing temps, snow on the road, and a 10-car pileup. It's got the roadway shut down on 40 eastbound. Make that westbound this morning. 40 westbound shut down roughly from Cookeville to Crossville because of that pileup this morning. We'll keep you updated on that. In the news this morning outside the downtown courthouse, an argument between a couple of people ended with a woman being shot, hit in the shoulder as she was getting out of a vehicle. Here's the Metro Nashville police spokesman.
The report this morning is that traffic was backed up at this drop-off spot here in front of the Burt's building. Horns were being honked. People were becoming very impatient.
And somebody in the line of traffic apparently shot at the woman. News 2 says that she is in her 50s. She went inside the building for help, taken to Vanderbilt for treatment. She's going to be okay. A spokesman for Metro Police saying that traffic had been backed up at that point. Now, the shooter got away, and they're still looking for a Dodge Journey. That's what the vehicle is that they are looking for related to this shooting this morning. A 5-year-old boy with autism facing assault charges in Sumner County. The Tennessean is reporting the boy is accused of throwing chairs, overturning furniture, and hitting a student with a plastic hourglass, also pushing another student to the ground at recess. The Sumner County DA's office and the juvenile court declined to prosecute, but 2 parents have pressed charges under private prosecution. They'll argue the case themselves since the DA's office is not involved. The FAA ordering all MD-11 cargo planes grounded after the crash of that UPS cargo jet in Louisville last week.
The FAA now saying none of those specific planes should be in the sky, grounding them until they all can be inspected and fixed if needed. The agency saying here that that same unsafe condition is likely to exist or develop in other planes of that same model. Now, we're talking here about the MD-11 owned by Boeing, which also recommended the planes don't fly.
ABC's Olivia Rubin. 2 Major League Baseball pitchers under indictment, Luis Leandro Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase, both Cleveland Guardian pitchers allegedly conspiring with sports bettors on their pitches.
In one case outlined
outlined in the indictment. Clase is allegedly texting a better contact during the game before he comes out to pitch. And he texts him, according to the indictment, ready? And the response comes back on his phone, which is against Major League rules. Players aren't supposed to use their phone. The response comes back, but of course.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. A couple of announcements from the Supreme Court. The court will not take up a case that revisits the legality of same-sex marriage. That was brought by former Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis. Also, the clerk said it will hear arguments regarding whether states may count mail-in ballots received after Election Day, taking up a Republican-led lawsuit that could affect election laws in more than a dozen states. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV is up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, watch the show. We'll have video for all the audio that you hear on your radio, on YouTube and Rumble, and it's a good watch. It's worth it. It's worth it, right? Would you say?
Oh, man, especially if you caught the morning show on Super Talk TV. Got to see the river that was Mandis's nose.
Oh my gosh, Mandis is going to give us all COVID.
I'm protected with bulletproof glass in here, baby.
Yep. By the way, do you have anything you want to say to Bobby?
Bobby, I'm sorry. I did mean to do it again.
I don't know if you guys heard this, but during Joan Jones's newscast, you might have heard a random dial tone.
He hung up on him again.
He hung up on Bobby again.
Oh.
Joan.
There's buttons. I got big hands. I
haven't
done Chris's show
theory.
in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
He hung up on Bobby twice.
I feel so bad.
I have to
Bobby man or Bobby woman?
The Bobby.
The Bobby.
The Bobby. Oh, I can't believe it.
He was at church yesterday. He said, I'm Bobby. I said, Bob, I love when you call in. Say call in anytime.
Apparently I don't. I'm sorry.
Sam is saying not today. Sam woke up and chose violence. We have a heated debate on casseroles happening on the text line, and I feel sorry for opening this can of worms.
Can of beans, more like it.
Yes. Okay. People are either for them or they're against them. There's no in between.
I mean, if you're not pro green bean casserole, you might as well be anti-holidays.
That feels like a bit of a stretch. Okay, Sam. Just get back to doing what you do best, hanging up on Bobby. Well, we'll check in with you in a little bit. Government shutdown's over. Democrats are upset. 8 Democrats bent the knee. They crossed over. They were the more moderate. They were the moderate Democrats. One of those Democrats was Senator Angus King, and Senator Angus King was on Morning Joe this morning to let everybody know why he decided to bend the knee when it came to the government shutdown.
You have to go back to what the strategy was at the beginning of the shutdown. There were 2 goals, both of which I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue.
Did you get either of those? Well, you got to vote. You sure did show the orange man, didn't you? How do you think Trump will ever recover? Will the orange man ever recover from that government shutdown? Inquiring minds want to know. So that's what you wanted. Did you get it, Mr. King?
The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was zero likelihood that it was going to. In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power, Exhibit A being what he's done with SNAP and SNAP benefits across the country. Oh, by the way, Joe, you're going to love this. Guess who's getting paid during the shutdown? Not the park rangers or air traffic controllers, the ICE agents.
Voted for that, by the way. so that's great. Senator Angus King making the left even angrier today. There was another Representative Democrat Rep Brandon Boyles. He was on MSNBC. He's perplexed, as what the tweet says from Eric Doherty. He's perplexed as to why the Democrats bent the knee.
Pennsylvania. Congressman Boyle, thanks so much. I saw your statement on this deal, such as it is. I think you said you were a hell no on the deal. No way to sugarcoat it, I guess. Can you explain how you interpret why this deal came together now, a few days after this blowout election where Democrats seem to be taking a victory lap? Well, literally taking a victory lap, or at least had a victory. Why now would Democrats in the Senate decide to lay down their arms, potentially end this shutdown, when the terms that are being offered by Republicans don't seem to have changed?
Can I jump in and field that one real quick? Do you mind? We'll get to Boyles in a second. Why did the Democrats bend the knee? Because everybody knew that they were fighting for illegal aliens. Everybody knew that they were losing this battle. Even when you had the propaganda arm of the mainstream media giving 87% cover for the Democrats, the American people knew what time it was. And we knew that the Democrats were leveraging benefits, SNAP benefits, and letting Americans go hungry. You want to know why? How we knew? They said it themselves. Blatantly, openly, in public, on camera. Brandon Boyles, though, he's perplexed.
I can't explain it because, to be frank, to me, it makes absolutely no sense. I'm completely perplexed by today's developments, or really the developments of the last few hours. On Tuesday, we essentially had the proof that the American people overwhelmingly were on the Democrats' side of this argument.
Overwhelming, come on. That's a bit of a stretch. Everybody knew what the results of those elections were going to be. I think the only one that I thought we had a chance at was the attorney general race in Virginia and the governor race in New Jersey. If you want to say that the American people are on the side of the Democrats, yep. The margins of victory were much wider than I thought they were going to be. But to label New Jersey, New York, Virginia as all of the American people, that's a bit of a stretch. And this guy, he's a smart guy. Brendan Boyle, congressman out of Pennsylvania. He knows. He's lying about it. And he's pretending that the fight will continue.
Polls have been showing for weeks, over a month, that a pretty large number of Americans were with us. But people always question about the validity of polls. Where here we had on Tuesday the ultimate poll, and Democrats won everywhere. I mean, I'll take Pennsylvania, for example. Every competitive race or race that thought was going to be competitive, we won by double digits. We won in Clearfield County, a place that had not elected a Democrat in over a decade and that Donald Trump had carried by more than 50 points. That's how sweeping the victory was on Tuesday. So it's pretty clear that, we went to the polls. The American people understood that Republicans were making their costs go up, that Democrats were fighting to bring costs down and fight to save the health care of the American people. And now all of a sudden, after this big victory, it's the Democratic side, or at least enough Democrats in the Senate, that are essentially caving. Again, it just makes no sense to me.
No sense. So perplexing. I mean, I guess if you look at the evidence in front of you, that this is less perplexing. If you're just burying your head in the sand and you're focusing on the election results on Tuesday, then maybe you're perplexed by this. But if you look at what was happening around the government shutdown, you had Secretary Duffy confirming that air travel was going to be screeching to a halt, near halt by Thanksgiving. That was going to be on the Democrats. You had Scott Bessent going on the Talking Heads news, the Talking Head shows. He was on ABC This Week with George Stephanopoulos, just absolutely embarrassing Democrats. And I mean, how can you listen to this and not understand what time it is? This was Scott Bessent yesterday.
George, the best way to do it, and look, you were involved in a lot of these in the 90s, and you basically called the Republicans terrorists, and you said that it is not the responsible party that keeps the government closed. And so what we need is 5 brave, moderate Democratic senators to cross the aisle, because right now it is 52 to 3. 5 Democrats can cross the aisle and reopen the government. That's the best way to do it, George.
I can disagree with you about the history there, but we don't need a history lesson right now.
George, let's talk about
what's happening right now.
If you want, I've got all your quotes here. George.
I'm sure you do. But let's talk about the situation right now.
Read your book. So you got one purchase on Amazon this week, and that's very much what you said.
The Democrats knew what time it was. So you had Scott Bessent just absolutely slaying these losers on the weekend shows. You have the American people knowing exactly what time it is. The Democrats are using this for leverage. You had Donald Trump going after Obamacare all weekend long on True Social. He said, Trump on Obamacare, here, let me get this on the screen for you so that way you can see it. Said, Democrats claim to be working for the little guy and driving down your health insurance, but the Obamacare scam goes straight to their best friends in the insurance industry. They're making a killing, while health coverage only gets worse. If Democrats get their way again, they're in for another huge payday at the expense of the American people. No deal. Republicans should give money directly to your personal health savings account that I expanded in our great big beautiful bill. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He also said, I am sorry that the American people are being terrorized by the Democrats who have decided to shut down the government to make me and other Republicans continue Obamacare subsidies, which have been a windfall for health insurance companies and a disaster for the American people. The largest health insurance companies have seen their stock prices soar, some over 1,000%, since the passage of Obamacare. Meanwhile, Americans' premiums have more than doubled, contrary to President Obama's promise. I believe that the money should go directly to the people to purchase better health care and create competition. This enrichment of health insurance companies must stop. It is long past time to lower premiums, not enrich insurance companies. I stand by the work with both parties to solve this problem once the government is open. Stop terrorizing the American people. Stop pushing failed policies. Trump was going after everything. The conservatives were going after everything. And on top of all that, the cherry on top was nuking the filibuster. which the Democrats knew if this stretched on any longer, that was going to become a much more realistic option. And if you nuke the filibuster, then we don't need, we just need the simple majority to get everything that we need passed, which I think that we should still be fighting for, personally. Even though the government shutdown is now behind us, nuking the filibuster is still a conversation that we should be having. Because we got 3 years left, a window of opportunity, 1 year if you're only looking at midterms. We need to deliver some massive wins. Nuking the filibuster would do that. Caroline Leavitt was talking about the nuking the filibuster. This was on Friday, I believe, but it aired over the weekend with Fox News and the Laura Trump show. But Caroline Leavitt, full support of nuking the filibuster.
The president is 100% right about this, and he wants Republicans to get tough and get smart. And we know that if Democrats, God forbid, are ever given the keys back to power in Washington, D.C., they will end the filibuster. 49 of them in their party already voted to do it. The only reason it got held up is because 2 voted against, and those 2 are no longer here. They got run out of town by radical leftists who have totally taken over the party. So the president is saying we have 3 years of me in the Oval Office to do everything the American people want us to do. Let's take advantage of this historic opportunity.
She's right. We should. And again, 3 years left, but let's be honest, if we lose the House and the Senate in the midterms, then what do we got? We got 1 year left. We could potentially only have 1 year left at full strength. I'm in full support of nuking the filibuster. Let's make it harder for the Democrats to cheat. Let's mandate voter ID nationwide. Let's get rid of the mail-in voting scam. Can we do that? We could if we nuke the filibuster. Do you understand how hard it would be for a Democrat to win an election without mail-in ballots and with voter ID everywhere? Guys, we have an opportunity here. We should take full advantage of it. Ron Johnson wants to take full advantage of it. He was on Maria Bartiromo over the weekend. This is before the government shutdown had officially ended, but he's in full support of nuking the filibuster.
In the Senate right now is pledged to nuke the filibuster. I can't imagine a Democrat Senate candidate not having to pledge that. So when they gain power, and that's what we need to prevent, they can never gain power again. If they gain power, they'll nuke the filibuster to maintain power.
Yep.
So I agree with President Trump. We've got a lot to accomplish. You can tell by the way they're obstructing. They are keeping government shut because they don't want the economy to do well. They don't want President Trump to get credit for these things. So they will obstruct every good piece of legislation President Trump and Republicans want to pass. So we better act first. That's the bottom line. We will use the 50-vote threshold for good things, to fully secure the border, to secure our elections, to hopefully repair the damage done by Obamacare, transition to a system that actually works, have economic prosperity. Democrats will use the nuke the filibuster to maintain their power. It's all about power with Democrats.
He's absolutely right. I mean, this is one of the sad things about the government shutdown being over, at least for me. I think that this conversation of nuking the filibuster is going to slowly but surely evaporate. It's going to disappear from mainstream discourse, and I think that that's a huge loss. If we're going to talk about any loss that we have with the government reopening, I think the conversation about nuking the filibuster slowly disappearing, which is what's bound to happen, I think that's our biggest loss. We know what the Democrats would do. They've said it. They've said it themselves. They were asked about it over the weekend. Schiff was asked about it. He said, well, I'm not for that when the Republicans are in power. Molly Hemingway was talking about it. Guys, they have laid this out for themselves on numerous occasions. They run from it right now. Right now, it's, oh, gosh, we can't let the orange man get away with that. I think this is one of the main reasons why the government's reopened today. This was going to be gaining a lot of steam over the coming days. It's a conversation that shouldn't go anywhere. It's a conversation that we should still keep pushing. Nuke the filibuster. Let's get some real things done. I'd be a fan of that. I'll bring you what Adam Schiff said. I'll bring you what Molly Hemingway said. And we'll talk about President Trump and the tariff case. He was going off about that over the weekend. Also, another Supreme Court case just came down, and we lost. We'll talk about that as well. 1022, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Do you have family coming over for the holidays? Well, if you do, and you've already got a slow or clogged drain, you could be looking at disaster come the holidays. Don't wait around and hope it fixes itself. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today and take advantage of their 93 or free mainline opening special. You heard me right. They're either going to clear your main line for just $93 or it's going to be free for you. This is a November-only deal, and it's a great way to keep your home running smooth before the holidays. And I love this. Busy Bee is also showing some gratitude this month. You got another day to do this. One lucky veteran is going to win a 50-gallon water heater with installation. All you have to do is send Busy Bee a photo in uniform to enter. The winner is going to be announced tomorrow on Veterans Day via Busy Bee. Plus, if you got a favorite Thanksgiving Day recipe, share it, as long as it's not a green bean casserole. You could win $2,000 off a new HVAC system. Runner-up is going to get $1,000. The winners are going to be announced on Facebook Live on November 21st. And again, I don't want to bury the lead. Don't wait if that drain's backed up. Get the $93 or $93 or free mainline opening special now from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Give them a call today, 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
We'll tell you why Metro Nashville police think they'll ID a road rage shooter in downtown quickly. Also, the first measles case in Tennessee in 20 years. Those stories at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joe Jones in the newsroom. It's 10:26, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Sam Rutherford producing today. Mason is out. He's gallivanting about. He's got a concert to go somewhere. He's always jet setting, this kid. So Sam's in here. He's doing a good job. He's hanging up on people, though. He's been hanging up on my poor guy, Bobby. Bobby got hung up on twice. He must have said something offensive to Sam, possibly about casseroles. We were talking about the filibuster a little while ago. I think nuking the filibuster should still be on the table. If we want to get serious and we want to keep racking up wins, this is a very easy way to do it. And you got a lot of people still supporting that. Senator Ron Johnson, we played his clip a little while ago, insisting that senators need to get tough and nuke the filibuster. You had Caroline Leavitt outlining that we know exactly what we know. If the Democrats ever get power again, that filibuster is as good as gone. Puerto Rico is going to be a state. D.C. is going to be a state. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. Why on earth would we not do this now to secure our elections, to secure our border? Voter ID everywhere, scrap mail-in ballot. Why would we not do this? Does anybody have any idea why we wouldn't do this? Adam Schiff was asked about it over the weekend. He was on with George Slobodopoulous. This is after Slobodopoulous got fact-checked in real time by Scott Bessent and made a fool of. So Schiff is on with Slobodopoulous, and he says, Adam, you used to like the idea of nuking the filibuster. What happened?
When you were running for Senate, you came out against the filibuster. If that comes to the Senate floor, will you vote for it?
I have continued to oppose the filibuster and would be happy to do away with the filibuster. But the question is, do away with it for what reason? I would do away with it so that we can expand and protect people's freedoms and their rights. The Republicans and the president right now are talking about doing away with the filibuster so they can raise people's health care costs. That is the wrong reason to do away with a filibuster.
Oh, I support nuking the filibuster when it's the Democrats nuking the filibuster. You support it when the Republicans want to get rid of it. See, that's the difference. That's the main thing right there. Also, what rights do we want to take away? I feel like we're securing rights by securing our elections, by pushing for voter ID, by scrapping mail-in ballots. We're securing this country. How about just codifying the things into law that Donald Trump has had to do via executive order? We cannot continue ruling via executive order. We need to codify this stuff into law. 100%. The Democrats wouldn't waste this opportunity. Why are Republicans? And I'm telling you, the Democrats will be back in power if we don't take full advantage of this moment. They will. When does that happen? Is it midterms? Is it 2028? It's going to at some point. And when they take power, take the Democrats at their word, is what Molly Hemingway was saying over the weekend on Fox News Sunday. She said, guys, they've laid this out to us so many times. Why would we not believe Democrats when they tell us what they would do?
I mean, Molly, how much do you think this could play in 28? Because we have a number of justices that are in the age range that people are constantly speculating or pushing them about retirement.
Well, I just think people should take Democrats seriously. They have been talking about packing the Supreme Court for many years now. Had Kamala Harris won, I think we would have seen, and had things gone differently in the 2024 election, we would have seen really legitimate efforts to pack the court. Packing the court, what that means is increasing the number of justices precisely to change the outcome of decisions. And the left did feel that for a long time they were able to use the court to push through policies that they couldn't convince the American people to do on their own. And as this court has become more restrained, more about devolving things back to the states, having clear understanding of what is the judicial authority and what is the executive authority and what is congressional authority, that is making the left angry. And we have seen much more pressure, including assassination attempts and violent rhetoric from some prominent Democrats. So I agree that, it hadn't happened previously, but I think they're serious and people should take it seriously, because that's one of the few things that is keeping the country from going off the rails, is that the court is in pretty good order right now.
When the Democrats tell you what they want to do, believe them. Speaking of the Supreme Court, we got one loss for Donald Trump on the books and potentially another one on the way. We'll talk about gay marriage and tariffs when we return. 1031 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 10:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A traffic backup outside the downtown courthouse early this morning, and a woman getting out of the passenger side of her car was shot, apparently by somebody waiting for her car to move. Metro Nashville Police spokesman Don Aaron saying it's not going to be hard to identify this shooter.
We have some good information about the vehicle involved. As you can see with that overhang over that bridge there are cameras around on buildings, on the overpass there, and we have good information on who may be responsible. We're following up on that now.
The shooter fled in a Dodge Journey. The victim suffered a graze wound to her shoulder. The first measles case since 2005, now in the Nashville area. It is a Davidson County resident now isolating. Vandy Dr. Manny Sethi telling the Dan Mandis show measles is pretty infectious.
Very highly airborne, transmissible. So if you're around it and you're not vaccinated, you're probably going to get it. Most people can beat it, just kind of controlling the fever, hydrating. But, it can, in certain cases, be devastating.
The health department is working to identify anyone who may have come in contact with the measles patient while they still were infectious. President Trump pardoning Rudy Giuliani, former chief of staff Mark Meadows, and attorneys Sidney Powell and John Eastman, along with dozens of others.
As of this moment, November 10th, in his first term, he had pardoned exactly one person. Now, of course, he's pardoned well over 1,500, most of whom those that actually took part in the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. The pardon attorney, Ed Martin, who announced these pardons, had earlier this year said in a post on X, "No MAGA left behind." So the other trend you see here is Donald Trump pardoning those who supported him.
ABC's Jonathan Karl. The pardons related to anyone advocating for any slate of presidential electors or those who exposed voting fraud in connection with the contested 2020 presidential election. An update for you on 40 westbound between Cookeville and roughly, Cookeville and the Crossville area had been closed down earlier. It is slow going now, but the traffic accidents, there were 10 vehicles involved in accidents in that area. It's now been removed. Slow going, though, because there is still snow on the roads. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and I got something real special to tell you about the Pancake Pantry. You know the Pancake Pantry, iconic restaurant staple in Nashville. But they're showing gratitude tomorrow for Veterans Day by offering free meals to active and retired military on November 11th. My brother-in-law is a veteran. Love the guy. I always tell him, you're taking advantage of the free meals, right? He's like, of course. This is a free meal that you are definitely going to want to take advantage of. This special offer is available at both the Hillsborough Village location and the downtown restaurant at 220 Malloy. The complimentary meal features guest choice of any entree listed on the menu. All you need is a valid military ID to participate in the Veterans Day promotion. You need the ID for the Veterans Day promotion. However, in some states, you don't need ID to vote. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. The Pancake Pantry, founded in 1961, is a Nashville tradition known for its 23 varieties of scratch-made pancakes. The Pancake Pantry offers the best food and the friendliest service from the two Nashville locations, the original in Hillsborough Village and downtown at 3rd and Malloy. Batters and syrups crafted from secret recipes, made fresh daily, perennial favorite on the Nashville Scene's Best of Nashville and the Tennesseans' Best of Music City list. The Pancake Pantry boasts a large variety of breakfast and lunch offerings. You can learn more at thepancakepantry.com. And if you're a veteran, you better be at the Pancake Pantry tomorrow morning. It's 10:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Find me on your favorite social media platform at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. We were talking about Democrats and the filibuster, and I think that this is one of the lousiest things about the government shutdown coming to a close. I think that we were gaining real support and a bit of momentum to nuke the filibuster, and I think that this conversation is going to evaporate. And I'm a bit disappointed. If I'm disappointed about anything, I'm disappointed about that.
You can't handle the truth.
I could handle it. That's why I'm telling it. The conversation's going to go away. JT texted in. No, it wasn't JT. Who was it? Was it JT? No, I got a text here earlier. Hold on. A couple people are saying give veterans free homes, not free pancakes. I would sign up for that. Also, I was saying to Sam during the break, I may be the only one that could turn the Pancake Pantry ad into an anti-filibuster rant.
It was valid. It was so valid.
9482. This is the text I was looking for. Text it in. End the filibuster, voter ID at the ballot box, voter proof of citizenship for voter registration, comprehensive immigration laws and border security bills, requirements for states to support federal law enforcement officers, bill to limit courts' authority to impede the administrative branch, bill to make most of Trump's executive orders laws. If played right, the country will not only be prosperous and safe, the Democrats will not regain power or be able to destroy our nation.
He left out one little thing.
What do you leave out?
U.S.-born citizens only for elected office.
That'd be dope. And no dual citizens.
Nope. Revoke it.
By all means. And we'll see what happens. The Democrats want to pack the Supreme Court. They want to make sure that they're getting all their victories. They need 3 more Ketanji Brown Jacksons, and then they'll be able to win some cases. That's what they need. I mean, we're not winning all the cases either. Like make no mistake about it. Like we can clap and cheer the ones that we win. And then the ones we lose, I do think moving on is the right decision at this moment because the window of opportunity for us to get what we need to get done is closing. But Supreme Court, we lost a case over gay marriage. Supreme Court on Monday rejected a call to overturn its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices turned away an appeal from Kim Davis, the former Kentucky court clerk, who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the High Court's 2015 ruling. In Obergefell versus Hodges, Davis had been trying to avoid paying $360,000 in damages and attorney's fees. The court also agreed Monday to decide whether states can continue to count late-arriving mail-in ballots, target of Trump. A ruling is expected in time to govern the counting of ballots in the 2026 midterm congressional elections. Meanwhile, the administration has demanded that states undo full benefits paid under SNAP during a one-day window between when a federal judge ordered a full funding and a Supreme Court justice put a temporary pause on that order. A federal appeals court is now considering whether to impose a longer halt to the full benefits and funding SNAP as part of a proposal. Some Senate Democrats are making to end the shutdown. That one's going to be that's a wash at this point because the government's going to be reopening. On the same-sex marriage stuff, as a Christian, I am against it. I think that you are wrong. I think that you are going against God. Point blank, period. I think the most loving thing that we can do as Christians is tell you the error of your ways so that way you can come back and get in line with Christ. And he'll forgive you. I think that that's important. There has to be a bridge back for these individuals. That's the Christian side of me. The human side of me, which also the Christian side, but just like the regular guy. I know gay people. I do. I've worked with a bunch of gay people. Nice guys, like not terrible people. Leftists, make no mistake about it. But there's a human element to it that I'm like the religious side. I get. And I will talk to my gay friends about, and I have no issue telling them, listen, you continue down this path, you're going to hell. On the other side of that coin, if you've been with your partner for 50 years, like they should be able to decide if they pull the plug. And I don't really care about tax benefits, like at all. Does that make me a bad Christian? I don't know, maybe.
No.
I just those things don't bother me.
If it weren't for it being legalized, my dad would have had less cases when I was a kid. So it kind of fed and clothed me in a way.
Gay marriage fed and clothed you?
A little bit. You know, women in relationships have the highest rate of divorce and domestic violence.
Oh, jeez.
Fact check, true.
Those are just facts. I think there's conversations to be had that come off of the gay marriage tree. I'm not a huge fan of surrogacy. I'm not a huge fan of gay people adopting. I think kids deserve a mother. I think it's wrong for two gay guys to pay a woman to basically just deprive a child of their mom. Like I think that's a bit messed up. And then you look at some of the horror stories with gay couples and adopting kids, and the kind of rape and sexual abuse that happens after that is super dark. And you hear one or two of those stories, and it's enough for you to say, I don't think that you should be allowed to do this. And I've come to that conclusion myself. Again, that's aside from tax benefits, and that's aside from pulling the plug. And I understand not all gay people are raping kids. Like, let's get that out of the way too. But I have some issues. I do. And there's some questions. But as far as losing that case, like whatever. Chalk it up as a loss and move on. That's what we can do, right? On the tariff side of things, Donald Trump has been going off. And I read in that report that they're going to be looking at the tariff stuff. They are looking at the tariff stuff. It doesn't seem like it's going to be leaning in Trump's favor, which is weird because you had Bissent and you had Howard Lutnick last weekend coming into the week going, oh, trust me, we're going to win this case. Make no mistake about it. But I see Donald Trump on Truth Social over the weekend, and the way he's positioning it, it doesn't seem like he's confident that he is going to be winning the tariff case. It sounds more like he's operating from a position that he's going to be losing the tariff case. And I'll read you this Truth Social that he put out, and you tell me what you think. He said, so let's get this straight. 3 question marks. Not a good sign. We're already off to a tough Truth Social post. Let's get this straight. The President of the United States is allowed and fully approved by Congress to stop all trade with a foreign country, which is far more onerous than a tariff, and license a foreign country, but is not allowed to put a simple tariff on a foreign country, even for purposes of national security. That is not what our founding fathers had in mind. The whole thing is ridiculous. Other countries can tariff us, but we can't tariff them. It's their dream. Businesses are pouring into the USA only because of tariffs. Has the United States Supreme Court not been told this? What the hell is going on? All caps. President DJT. This is the thing that's going to be interesting. And I heard the Supreme Court arguments, and I heard Neil Gorsuch, and he's like, well, if a leftist president came in, could they not put a 50% tariff on all gas cars coming into the country? And it's like, well, yeah, technically they could. And that's one of the reasons why we need to make sure that Democrats never regain power again. But President Trump could stop all trade with China, but he can't put a tariff on China? That doesn't make sense either. It seems like there should be some middle ground there. We'll see what the Supreme Court decides. But Donald Trump wasn't done. He had another Truth Social post over the weekend. This one was aiming at people against tariffs, saying people that are against tariffs are fools, all caps. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We're taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, 37 trillion, 38. Record investment in the U.S. Plants and factories are going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Do you want a $2,000 stimmy?
Yes, please.
I don't. I didn't want the last stimulus checks either, by the way, because you know what happens when the money machines go burr. Inflation goes up. Is that what we're doing? We're gonna get back on the inflation train and push stimmies up. How about we just take the money from the tariffs and pay down the debt? Wouldn't that be a better option? Wouldn't that set up our kids and grandkids for a more prosperous future if we could really focus on paying down the debt? Now, there's a lot of talk. Well, maybe it's not the stimmies, right? Maybe it's not going to be a check. Maybe it's going to be a tax credit. I don't know. But I don't like the idea. Not a huge fan. New York Post has this. President Donald Trump promised a $2,000 payment for every American as a tariff dividend in a post on Sunday morning. This post comes after the Supreme Court questioned the legality of his use of emergency powers to impose sweeping new tariffs on nearly every country on earth. A dividend of at least $2,000, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone, read Trump's Truth Social post. Trump provided no details on who exactly would be eligible or when the payments might go out. Bessent was on ABC's This Week on Sunday, and he said that the tariff dividends might not be direct payments, saying that they could come in lots of forms. It could just be the tax decreases that we're seeing. The president added that the tariffs have brought in trillions of dollars and that 401ks are the highest ever. People that are against tariffs are fools. The U.S. collected about $151 billion from import duties between April and October, according to the Committee for a Reasonable Federal Budget. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he expects the U.S. to collect $500 billion or more in tariff revenue per year. For context, a pandemic-era proposal to send $2,000 checks to families was estimated to cost some $464 billion. So all the money that we're going to make on tariffs is going to be right out the door? I'm not a huge fan. I think that's going to lead to inflation. I think that's going to lead to a mess. I think you're missing the mark. Tell you what else missed the mark over the weekend. $50 mortgages, 50-year mortgages, excuse me. $50 mortgage, that would be, I would take that in a heartbeat. 50-year mortgages. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see this meme with Sydney Sweeney and the interviewer? She said, since you can't afford 30 years of interest payments on a house, how about 50? And it's just the Sydney Sweeney stare.
Do you see someone do the math on it?
No.
It saves you $200.
Dude, it just seems like you're signing a lifetime rental agreement with a bank.
Well, and the interest, like on a 30-year mortgage, they calculated it was like 400-something thousand, and then on a 50, it was like 800-something thousand.
Awesome. So are we just going to keep home prices inflated for boomers and their retirement plan? Is that what it is? Because this doesn't seem like a win for millennials or Gen Z at all. And they're going to try and frame it as a win for millennials and Gen Z, but it seems like a bit too little. And I don't even know if I would say too little, too late. I don't even think people have been asking for this at all. Like, this is not addressing affordability whatsoever. The Trump administration is indeed working on a 50-year mortgage. A 50-year mortgage. We'll talk about it a little bit more on the other side. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. $2,000 stimmies and a 50-year mortgage. Sounds like the exact opposite of what we should be doing. We'll talk more in depth on the other side. It's 10:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's going on? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you are having so much pain that you're already stressing about the holidays, family's going to come over and you're going to just be stuck on the couch in back pain, neck pain, knee pain. Don't do that. Call the Wellness Institute of Nashville today and get back to a pain-free life before you have people over for the holidays. And it's not going to break the bank. $12, Big Daddy Trump special, still going on now. Gets you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. All of that, you heard me right, $12. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley aren't going to give up on getting you back to a pain-free life, and they're not going to be saying, how about a painful injection? How about some opioids? Or how about surgery? That's not their style. They're going to focus on non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. So whatever you're dealing with, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, they'll treat it all without the opioids, without the surgery, and without the injections. Grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or find them online, painisbad.com.
We'll tell you what we've learned about that road rage shooting in downtown Nashville this morning. That story and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Sam Rutherford's producing. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So I said I didn't want the $2,000 stimmy. Just send it to the debt. I got a text. I was waiting for this text.
Bingo.
3581. Said, so Chris, with the last stimulus check, I'm assuming you returned it and didn't cash it? Well, saying I didn't want it and didn't cash it are two different things, my friend.
Sure.
those are two different things. So I don't even know if I'd be eligible for this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the details on this. The headlines are saying everybody gets it, but I don't know.
It said except the rich. So I think you're good.
Other than, I'm definitely good on that front.
Tax the rich. Tim, my buddy Tim texted me.
In a $30,000 dress.
He said Trump's news about the $2,000 checks to public. He goes, I feel like he's purposely throwing out something else that might further tangle any repayment of tariffs in order to press the Supreme Court to make a decision on tariffs. Can you imagine the accounting confusion that would cause? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I'm not in the Trump administration. I just don't like the idea.
The only thing that comes to my mind is the minute that it becomes a done deal that those checks are going out, prices are going up.
100%. And if we're making $500 billion a year in tariffs, that's what they're estimating. And the last stimmy package where they gave out $2,000 to everybody was $464 billion. Like, can we just pay down the debt? Can we do that? I feel like that would be so much better served for so many of us.
That makes a lot of sense, Brother Chris.
That's why I'm not in the government. So, 50-year mortgages, though. This, again, it's like this is missing the mark, and it's an unforced error by the Trump administration. You are not going to win back your millennial and Gen Z voters by saying, hey, guys, here's a new thing for you. You can't afford homes. So what we're going to do is we're going to stretch out the mortgage from 30 years to 50 years. And then you're going to enter a rental agreement with the bank. So you're not winning over young voters. This is not doing what you think it's doing. The Trump administration, just from Breitbart, is indeed working on a plan to introduce 50-year mortgages for home buyers. Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte announced on Saturday. Thanks, Bill. Thanks to President Trump, we are indeed working on the 50-year mortgage. A complete game changer, he said on X. Yeah, it's a game changer, all right. Game debt slaves. Who doesn't want to be a debt slave in 2025? Everybody gets to be a debt slave. I don't like I don't like the idea. I don't. The director included a graphic of a Truth Social post by President Trump from earlier in the day showing a portrait of former President Franklin D. Roosevelt next to one of the current president with their mortgage lengths. Roosevelt established the fixed rate 30-year mortgage as part of his New Deal to help Americans recover from the Great Depression. The Trump campaign campaigned on creating housing opportunities for younger and first-time buyers, but the U.S. has seen housing prices and mortgage rates remain high. The average age of a first-time home buyer reaches the all-time high of 40 in 2025, according to a report by the National Association of Realtors, way up from past decades where it was typically among Americans in their 20s and 30s. Another indicator of home unaffordability is adjustable rate mortgage applications, or ARMs, which are designed to be a buffer against high rates. Applications for ARMs have seen their highest share in mortgages being sought, according to a report by The Hill. They make up 10% of all applications, well above the post-2008 average of 6%, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. A 50-year fixed mortgage would result in lower payments, but also more money spent on interest over the term of the loan. That's the thing. How much money did you say it was going to save? Like over the course of a mortgage, $200?
They did a comparison on 30 and 50, and it was like a 30-year was $400,000 in interest, and 50 was like $800,000, and you save $200 a month.
Awesome. Who wouldn't want to sign up for that? It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, police are investigating a road rage shooting downtown. Happened outside the Davidson County Criminal Court building Officers responded around 8:40 this morning after a woman in her 50s was grazed by a bullet getting out of a car during an argument with people in another car in a roundabout. Metro Police Department spokesperson Don Aaron says the shooter took off, but it should be easy to identify.
We have some good information about the vehicle involved. As you can see with that overhang over that bridge there are cameras around on buildings, on the overpass there, and we have good information on who may be responsible. We're following up on that now.
And the Supreme Court wading into a dispute over mail-in ballot deadlines, agreeing to take a key case. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with more from Washington.
The case raises the question of whether states violate federal law when they allow the counting of ballots cast on or before Election Day but received by officials days later. 17 states and Washington, D.C. allow for that. Republicans are suing, saying ballots received after Election Day should not count. The High Court will likely decide this case by the end of June, and its outcome might prove to have a dramatic impact on future elections, beginning with next year's midterm.
SCOTUS has rejected an effort to overturn gay marriage. This was the appeal brought for a former Kentucky court clerk, Kim Davis, who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. The court did not explain its denial. Davis now on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages and legal fees. The court also agreed to take up a Republican-led lawsuit that says, okay, we already mentioned that. That's mail-in ballots. And the Senate overcame the shutdown filibuster last night. Now what, Speaker Johnson?
All my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats in the House, you need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
So this deal does include a stipulation that a vote on health care costs will take place next month, and the government will be funded into January. Back here in Middle Tennessee, a 5-year-old boy with autism facing assault charges in Sumner County.
The Tennessean is reporting that boy is accused of throwing chairs, overturning furniture, and hitting one student with a plastic hourglass and pushing another one to the ground at recess. The Sumner County DA's office and the juvenile court there has declined to prosecute, so the charges were dismissed. But 2 parents have pressed on with charges under private prosecution. They'll argue the case themselves since the DA's office is not involved. For WTN News, I'm Joan Jones.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm looking at the text line and the YouTube chat, and people aren't a fan of the $2,000 checks or the 50-year mortgage. Color me shocked. I didn't see that coming. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Darren in Clarksville wants to talk about Matt Van Epps. What's up, Darren? What do you want to talk about?
Yes, on Facebook, I actually live in Hickman County. There's a group on Facebook that's called Citizens for Hickman County. Well, they advertise, a lot of people are advertising Afton Bain on that. They post a lot about Afton Bain on there. I would love to get Matt Van Epps advertised on that same.
On that same Facebook page?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I mean, I would just tell
I'm not sure how to do it myself.
Are you able to post on the page?
I do post against whoever posted.
I mean,
I don't know how to put an ad up myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably leftist organizers. I mean, you're probably going to deal with that. You're probably just going to have to battle them in the comments.
Well, that's the reason why I was calling you, because I believe it is leftist. Excuse me. I believe it is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I wish I could help. I don't do Facebook. So Facebook is just a cesspool. I don't mess with it. I don't like it. Not a huge fan. It's like all you get are like rantings from like your liberal aunt and then like Facebook Marketplace. So I don't do it.
Yeah, I gotta fight the propaganda on there too.
Is that what you're doing? You're fighting the propaganda?
They show me something, leftist leaning or some leftist influencer, and I laugh at it, and then I see more of it, and I'm like, no. When I laugh at it, I want it to go away.
Right. Yeah. Did you see? Speaking of laughing, did you see that Afton Bain didn't even actually have Jasmine Crockett in town?
What?
You didn't see that?
At the faux town hall?
Dude,
that wasn't a town hall?
Dude, she couldn't even get Jasmine Crockett here. Hey, Afton, you're so low priority on the Democrat ladder. Jasmine won't even fly in for your event. She zoomed in.
Oh.
Jasmine Crockett via Zoom.
And we know from experience, unless you're paying for Zoom Plus, you got a timer on that meeting.
There's a timer on that meeting. I don't think they went over the timer. It was awkward, dude. Like, I don't like Afton Bain, I'll be honest with you. But I almost felt bad watching it because it was so cringeworthy on so many levels. I'm going to try and find it.
It's like the girl that invited everybody to her birthday party that was going to be some big blowout.
Yep.
And then nobody showed up.
Yep.
So was it Afton in a room with a bunch of people and then just a computer screen with Jasmine Crockett?
And she's like awkwardly looking up to the screen that they have Jasmine Crockett on. And Jasmine looks like she's in like a closet because like all I can see are handbags and shoes behind her. It's like it really, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, tell me that doesn't look like she's in her closet. She looks like she's in her walk-in closet with all the shoes behind her. Them boots were made for walking.
That is.
So she's Afton.
Either that or she's at a shoe barn.
Maybe she's at the boot barn.
Yeah, the boot barn.
Maybe she got to Nashville and then she couldn't take leaving the boot barn. She had to stay there because the deals were unbelievable. She's like, buy one, get one? What?
She had to get some more drip.
She had to get the drip, baby. This is the awkward introduction.
Give it up for Representative Crockett, y'all. You have so many fans in Tennessee. We love you, and we're very grateful for all you do for us.
I agree with that. I'm a huge fan of Jasmine Crockett. I love her and all she does for us.
Was she talking about the fan outlet store?
I don't know, but here's the thing. I think she does so much good for us. I think she's a net positive for conservatives. I wish she was here in person. She's so awkward. It's just so awkward. Why would you even? I don't know. I don't want to give Afton Bain any ideas. She's welcome on this show anytime.
They probably didn't raise enough donation money, to get the info for the town hall.
Why wouldn't you just have her? Why wouldn't you fly her out? Pay her that money. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, I mean, you got the Democratic National Committee chairman who came, And you would think that the DNC would do something like that if the DNC is actually investing in this 7th congressional district race.
Is it weird that I don't even know who the head of the DNC is anymore?
Wasn't it David Hogg for like 2 seconds?
It was. I think it was, but then he wasn't gay enough, I think, or female enough.
Well, they just looked at him and thought he was.
No, seriously, they were like, you're not
really
non-binary. We have to get you out of here.
Wow.
Could have fooled me.
I think his name is something Martin. Dan Martin or something like that.
Dan Martin.
They were having a canvassing lunch over the weekend to drum up excitement in the 7th congressional district.
Best of luck. Best of luck. Matt Van Epps, I think he's going to mop the floor with Afton. He's welcome on the show anytime. Afton Bain is welcome on the show anytime. I actually have to get back to there's a third guy running. Did you know that? There's a third guy running. He hit me up on Twitter the other day. John Thorpe. He's running as an independent, and he wants to come on the show. I said, yeah, you can come on, dude. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be supporting Matt Van Epps, but you're welcome on the show.
You like the discussion, Brother Chris.
I'm here for it. So we'll keep you updated on that. But the shoe closet zoom in, not a good look. Not a good look. It looks bad. It's a bad look.
She didn't even bother to turn the lights on in there.
Yeah, where's the ring light? Do something. Jasmine Crockett's a mess. It's bad that Jasmine Crockett is such a mess, but she's still so much higher up on the food chain than Afton Bain. You know what I mean? That's sad. That's sad. Many such cases. So, yep, there's that. We were talking about the tariffs, the stimmy check. Scott Bessent was the one who said it may not come in the form of a check. Make no mistake about it. It might not be a check. It could just be a tax credit, which I think that would change the discussion a bit. But this was Bessent on with Slopadopoulos.
It could. The $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms, in lots of ways, George. It could be just the tax decreases that we are seeing on the president's agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. So, those are substantial deductions that, are being financed in the tax bill.
So maybe it's not going to be a $2,000 check. Maybe it would be a tax break. I don't know what it looks like. I just do know that the big fight in front of them right now is tariffs. That's the one that they're waging with the Supreme Court. And the other big fight that they're waging with their own voters is affordability. Scott Bessent did talk a little bit about the tariff case.
Over the course of the next few years, we could take in trillions of dollars, George. But the real goal of the tariffs is to rebalance trade and make it more fair. Over time, and the president's goal is to bring back manufacturing to the U.S. For the past 2, 3, 4 decades, we've seen our manufacturing sector gutted. So what would happen over time is we would take in substantial money as factories come back to the U.S., as we're seeing now. I was just down in South Carolina at a rare earth magnet plant and a Boeing plant on Friday. And, that's I believe 1,500 total new jobs. Tariff income will be substantial, but then that will rebalance. The goal here, George, is to rebalance trade. So tariff income will be substantial at the beginning. It will come down, and then domestic tax revenues will climb as corporate taxes go up and all these high-paying jobs are created.
This is key. I mean, this is key, right? Affordability is going to be the name of the game over the next year. And we have to reinvigorate the millennials. We have to reinvigorate Gen Z to get back on board with the Trump administration. But the Trump administration is going to have to do something for these voters. Affordability is part of that. Bringing these jobs back via tariffs is part of that. But then we got to make sure that the jobs go to Americans. And we got to make sure that they're not being outsourced for cheaper labor via H-1B visas. We have to make sure that those H-1B visa holders that do come in are doing a job that an American can't do. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, there's a lot of fraud going on in the H-1B visa stuff. And even if there isn't fraud, they're sending a lot of their money out of the country. So you got a guy coming in who's making $80,000 a year, where an American would make $120,000 a year, and then he's sending half of his salary out of the country. It doesn't even touch our economy. That's not a good look. That's not how we're going to fix things. I will say this, though. President Trump's team has launched about 200 investigations into H-1B visa fraud. This is Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Remer announcing those investigations over the weekend.
So you kind of brought up the H-1B program, where there are companies across this nation who use this program, but they've either abused it to get into the program or they're abusing it within the program. So I have launched an enforcement initiative, Project Firewall, to protect the American worker first against foreign labor and the abuse that these companies possibly have done. We have over 175 investigations that we've opened, and for the first time in history, as a Secretary of Labor, I have signed those investigations personally, because we want to make sure that these companies are not abusing. We want to make sure that they're protecting the American worker first by, one, posting the jobs available to Americans, two, if they do need to use the H-1B visa program within the program, we have to make sure that they're paying those fair wages, not to depress the American wages. And if that employer leaves that company, they have to make sure that they're posting that with the government so that we know where those employers have gone and those employees. So it's been somewhat of a problem, but we want to protect the American worker first. And
it's been somewhat of a problem. Somewhat. That feels like you're underselling a little bit. I think it's been a problem for quite a few years, and people are really starting to pay attention to it. And it all goes back to the affordability. I mean, that's what it goes back to. Americans are saddling themselves with college debt. These young guys are getting out. They did all the right things. They went and did the STEM. They went and did the engineering, and then they lose their job to an Indian guy who's going to take less money. That's a huge issue. This is an issue that can be fixed without a 50-year mortgage. This is an issue that can be fixed without a $2,000 stimmy. Like, let's refocus on domestic wins for the American worker. This is part of that. I credit them for this for these investigations. I just hope that they bear fruit. I think if you dig deep enough, you're going to find a lot of fruit. Will they be willing to do that? That's going to be the big question. Now, on the other side of that coin, where they're talking about the 50-year mortgages, they're talking about the stimmies, do you know one way to bring down the housing prices? It would be decrease the demand. And one of the ways you do that is with mass deportations. The Trump administration is actually considering a bounty hunter program to locate and apprehend illegal aliens. I like this idea. Bounty hunters would receive rewards for successful captures per a federal contracting site. On October 31st, DHS and ICE posted a request for information on the government's online contracting portal to assess interest from private bounty hunting firms. We need that big time. Let's privatize the deportation effort and let's get some bounty hunters in there. Where's Dog when we need him? Can you imagine that? I would.
You're coming with me, brother.
I'd watch that. Speaking of which, he did that on Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be any room for him because there were deportation efforts in Hawaii over the weekend. Islands can get it too. I love it. Equal opportunity.
ICE. According to a post on their Facebook page, Kauai County says a total of 44 people were arrested as a result of 6 federal search warrants that were executed at multiple homes and one business on the Garden Isle. Kauai County says among those arrested were 2 suspected associates of the foreign terrorist organization Tren de Aragua, based in Venezuela.
Tren de Aragua in Hawaii. If you're going to be a Tren de Aragua gang member, there's no better place to do it than Hawaii.
Talking about pineapples and coconuts.
But listen, we need Dog. Step his game up out there. Get that man a bounty hunting contract. The deportation efforts are going to help the home prices. Once the demand goes down, you know how supply and demand goes. I don't have to explain it to you. And hopefully the deportation efforts ramp up soon. It was announced just this morning that 200,000 Americans have applied to work with ICE. This is Todd Lyons on with Fox and Friends this morning.
Because you got over 200,000 applications in. Tell us how quickly, how many of those you're going to take, and how quickly can you get them on the street? Because you need a lot of backup right now.
You know, we do. But our goal is to make sure that we can hire 10,000 that we promised the American people. We get more folks out on the street. But one thing is we're not sacrificing our training standards or our hiring standards, right? We're going to make sure that we're getting the best of the best out there. Luckily, we have a lot of former federal law enforcement, current federal law enforcement, current state and local police that want to join the ICE mission because they want to feel like they're working for an agency that respects them and allows them to do their job, unlike a lot of these sanctuary jurisdictions where we're getting recruits from. So you're going to see an increase in our numbers, but we're still going to be that premier law enforcement agency we've always been.
I love seeing the increase in numbers, and it's encouraging because while we're seeing the increase in numbers of applications, 200,000, we're also seeing the increase in violence from leftists. We saw another example of that over the weekend. The men and women that are signing up to do this job in spite of the violence that we're seeing are just heroes, fearless. I love it. But shots rang out over the weekend in Chicago, aiming at immigration enforcement officers. We'll talk about that when we get back. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
We'll tell you what we've learned since that road rage shooting downtown Nashville, coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Sam Rutherford's producing. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I've been getting through the text messages. I'm reading the texts. I try to do this during the commercial breaks, catch up on all the good ones. 3239 sent in a gem. When I heard of the 50-year mortgage, all I could imagine was Dave Ramsey's head exploding. Dave still hasn't recovered. Somebody check on Dave. Somebody check on Dave Ramsey. Please. We haven't heard from him since.
Shocked there's no memes about it yet.
I am too. I got another text. This one's from 7582. They took umbrage with my bringing up Dog the Bounty Hunter. 7582 said, Dog's not a real bounty hunter. He's an insult to bounty hunters. This comes from an ex-bounty hunter. I would just say, take it up with Dog. Say it to his face.
Or his wife's.
Well, his wife passed away. Is that what you're doing?
No, I didn't know that. That's new information to me.
That was rude. That was rude. Think before you make...
It feels like she just died now. Thanks.
Think before you make those kinds of jokes. And say it to Dog's face. You say it to Dog's face too, Sam. Sick and tired of y'all.
I'm not going to say anything to his face.
Except for yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
He went that way.
I'll tell you what. I remember watching that show. He'd be like, you want a cigarette, bud? I always thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh, yeah.
You want a cigarette, bud, before I take you in here? Like, classy way to end things.
It was on A&E, too.
Yeah.
My mom was like, you're okay to watch that channel.
Sam, why did you pick up smoking? No reason.
I like the Marlboro Reds.
Yeah.
It was A&E, Mom.
It was A&E. All right, so we need more dogs, let's be honest. Or at least people that got that dog in them. That's what we need. Border Patrol over the weekend, or it was Friday, actually, in Chicago. They're doing immigration enforcement operations, as they tend to. And once again, the rhetoric and the narrative that is being peddled by the Democrats leads to these brave officers' lives being directly in danger. Shots rang out. Breitbart has the story. Shots rang out in broad daylight Friday as a black Jeep driver opened fire on Border Patrol agents near 26th and Kedzie in Chicago. Agitators also were hurling bricks and paint cans at federal vehicles while the shooter fled the scene. The attack comes days after Chicago and Illinois officials falsely claimed agents stormed a daycare. An outright lie debunked by surveillance footage. We talked about that ad nauseum. This woman was fleeing ICE agents and ran into a daycare. And then as they went to apprehend her, they said, you can't do that. That's a daycare. Okay. Name any other situation where law enforcement wouldn't be able to go after a criminal in a daycare. Name another situation where you wouldn't want law enforcement to go after the criminal inside the daycare. Like, well, guess we'll have to wait. What? It's insane. But this is what they do. They call ICE Nazis and the Gestapo, and they say that they're raiding daycares. It was a congressional rep that pushed that lie. It was a joke. Department of Homeland Security officials announced an investigation into an incident in Chicago, 26th and Kedzie. Border Patrol agents were carrying out a targeted enforcement operation, and an unknown male driving a black Jeep fired shots at agents and fled the scene. Officials say that bystanders threw a paint can and bricks at patrol vehicles to keep them from pursuing the shooter. The shooter remains at large. Commander Op at Large Gregory K. Bavino posted agents shot at, vehicular assaults, physical assaults, impeding violent mobs, vehicular blockades, illegal aliens. This is what agents were up against for hours today as they once again successfully conducted Title VIII immigration enforcement in Chicago. More to come. There were photos captured by the Chicago Tribune journalist Armando Isancha showing the continuing violence in the little village area of Chicago, including what appears to be a masked agent pointing his weapon in self-defense. Of course, they're gonna label the masked agents as the evil, violent ones. The attack on Border Patrol agents working in Chicago under Operation Midway Blitz comes days after Illinois and Chicago officials spread lies about an incident where a criminal illegal alien from Colombia was arrested in a daycare center after fleeing agents. The Democrats push lies, and people's lives are in danger because of it. This could all be ended. You understand that, right? Like, I've said this so many times that it's become tiresome. It's become wallpaper. If they just allowed ICE in the jails, there wouldn't need to be targeted enforcement operations on the streets. Everybody knows that. 1131, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And Channel 4 showing live radar right now with a lot of snow falling, mainly along and north of I-40. I don't think it's sticking much, but definitely some more snow falling in this cold weather. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Police investigating a road rage shooting downtown Nashville. Officers responded to the Davidson County Criminal Court building just after 8:30 this morning after a woman in her 50s grazed by a bullet getting out of a car during an argument with people in another car at the roundabout. Metro Police Department spokesman Don Aaron.
Graze wound to the shoulder. She went inside the Burt's building. Emergency medical treatment was rendered there by our police officers in the fire department and the sheriff's office. And she has been transported to Vanderbilt.
Investigators reviewing surveillance footage, interviewing witnesses to identify the shooter. And despite talk of a potential breakthrough in the congressional budget deadlock, tens of thousands of federal employees still on furlough or working without a paycheck. ABC's Jim Ryan says airline passengers are paying the price.
Around 2,000 commercial flights have been canceled today, another 14,000 delayed, as staffing shortages gut air traffic control facilities. Even when the government reopens,
this shutdown isn't a light switch. It's not just on and it's not just off.
Nick Daniels heads the National Air Traffic Controllers Association.
If the shutdown is to end tomorrow, controllers still haven't been paid yet.
Daniels insists there has been no organized sick-in staged by his group's members. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Cabinet Makeovers. I love these guys. They've installed some brand new pull-out cabinets in my home. We're having some family over for Thanksgiving. We're excited to show these cabinets off. You're going to be excited to show off your cabinets as well. These pull-out cabinets change the game. We're not bending over, digging in the back of the cabinets for pots and pans anymore. You see how easy it is for the kids to get snacks out of the pantry now? It's so easy, in fact, that I find myself often saying, enough grabbing snacks out of the pantry. A lot. But the cabinets are unbelievable. My wife loves them. If you're thinking about making the investment in your home, do it with a family-owned company. Do it with Cabinet Makeovers. They've been doing this in Tennessee for 45 years. Everything they do is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet, pull-out, drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. The craftsmanship is top-notch, and it really is going to make your kitchen special. They don't stop at kitchens. They do custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house, all built with the same Tennessee pride and biblical values that guide their business. So do what I did. Call Cabinet Makeovers today. 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010, or head over to their website and see pictures of their work for yourself, cabinetmakeoverstn.com. It's 11:37. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Sam's been doing a good job today. Other than the time where you brought up Dog the Bounty Hunter's dead wife and then hung up on all those callers. Other than that, it's been solid.
Something's been in the water that I've been drinking.
Sam hung up on poor Bobby. Never even called back. Sam hung up on this on this guy Bobby that I met at church on Sunday twice.
Bobby, I'm sorry.
I thought that Chris Hand was a nice guy.
Other than that, it's been smooth sailing. Other than that, everything's great. I had to bring it up one more time. I had to.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Oh, it's Monday.
Sam's been here since what, like 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
4:30.
Yeah, you get a pass. You get a pass. Everybody's excited. You know why people are excited? It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
All right, one more critique on Sam. Mason dances a lot more during the lightning round music.
Nobody wants that.
People like it. People like it. First story in the lightning round. Donald Trump at the Washington Commanders game yesterday. Did you see the entrance he made? If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see the flyover where it looked like they were going to crash into the stadium. I'm not even joking with you.
Air Force One. High above.
It is the lowest flyover I've ever seen in my life.
Of a jet that size for sure.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Insane.
You know he was in the cockpit in the pilot's ear going, just get it lower.
Liberals,
Want them to see the underbelly.
Liberals coping and seething as they did the flyover. He even, as soon as he got off the plane, he's like, did you see the flyover?
I'm going to swear in a lot of great people right now. I'm a little bit late. I just want to say, was that the greatest flyover ever? Nobody's ever done a flyover like that.
It's true.
So these are the best pilots in the world. They say whoever flies Air Force One, the best pilots. And we just saw that. That was great. So we're going to have a good game. Things are going along very well. Country's doing well. The Democrats have to open it up. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's the best.
It makes it sound like he was leaning on the throttle.
Yeah.
Oh, he was flying the plane, man.
So first president to go to a regular season NFL game since 1978.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Who was the last one in 78?
78, that would have been Jimmy Carter? Oh, it's like sitting president?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. The other thing I thought was cool is Fox leaned in, which is like about damn time somebody did this. Like they're stupid for not doing it. The liberals in attendance were very upset that Donald Trump was there to swear in military officials, and they booed him while he was doing that, which is like just so low, because you're not actually booing the president, you're booing the people that are being sworn in. It reminded me of the Democrats not wanting to stand and clap for a kid with cancer at the State of the Union address, their joint session of Congress. Like, oh, screw that kid with cancer. He likes Trump. It's like, you guys are terrible. You understand that, right? Like, you're awful people. But Fox leaned in because they knew he'd be a ratings bonanza, and they let him do play-by-play. Did you see that? It says during the Commanders and the Lions game, Redskins. We prefer Redskins around here. They name teams after things of strength, not things of weakness. The Redskins game. And Trump is doing his own play-by-play.
Would you like to call a play?
Well, I would like to do that if you'd like me to, but I will say that your second string, your backup quarterback is a good quarterback, and he's had some very good games for you, and your first string quarterback has the potential, I think, to be a great quarterback. He's got to stop the injuries somehow. And let's see, we have a very important, I think this is a very important couple of plays.
Here we go. Second and 7.
You're right, 2nd and 7. Let's see what happens. Whoa.
That's
all right.
Krosky Merritt.
Not bad.
Takes it down to the 5-yard line.
That's right. That's right. Good runner.
There we go.
This is a very big play, don't you think?
I think
they have to get a touchdown. Let's put it differently. They just have to get a touchdown.
There we go. Now you're doing my job, because that's what I was going to say. They have to get a touchdown.
Just forget about the play. They have to get a touchdown.
So you've done my job. Now you've done his job.
Trump, you're fired. I could do all of this myself. Did you see the flyover, by the way?
You're fired. Get out.
It was unbelievable. And then he also let them know that it's a ratings bonanza having Trump in the booth.
On 4th down, Mariota throws to the end zone. Touchdown. just like you dialed it up.
Samuel. See, that was very important. Got a little ways to go yet, but still, that was very important. Now your ratings have gone up because there's hope.
I know you love ratings.
I love ratings. You got to have ratings. Well, you guys have the ratings, too.
It just made me so happy. I didn't watch it in real time. I caught it after, like everybody else. I wish I had caught it in real time. Who else can do this but Trump? Is there any other guy that could go in there and do play-by-play? That could do the flyover? Did you see the flyover? It was awesome. And then he gets booed. He gets booed mercilessly. He's swearing in new U.S. military service members at the Commanders game, and these people boo him. It's like, you're missing the plot. You're exposing yourselves for who we thought you were. You hate America. You hate the military. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I got another story for you here in the lightning round. File this one under, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. Exclusive. San Francisco Bay town bans nicotine in all forms.
What?
Right? Excuse me? What did you say to me? I'm not smoking anymore. I don't do that. Love a good little nicotine pouch, I'll be honest with you.
I like my cigars.
But a small San Francisco Bay Area community of about 9,000 residents has stepped up big, Breitbart reports, according to its town council, by passing the strictest and most comprehensive tobacco and nicotine sales ban in the country. So describes a report by the SF Gate and other news outlets about Tiburon. Tiburon? I don't know. It's a crappy San Francisco suburb. Who would want to live there? It's a scenic high-end enclave on the Tiburon Peninsula, north of San Francisco and across the Golden Gate Bridge. And they have unanimously passed ordinances establishing a complete ban on anything that has nicotine, including cigarettes, cigars, vapes, and other e-smoking devices, as well as any deliveries of any tobacco goods. And reportedly makes it the first town in the nation to ban the sale of such products with no exemptions. We all made history here tonight, Mayor Holly Thier said after the law passed Wednesday. Stunning and brave. There was a standing ovation after she said that, I'm sure.
Obviously.
California cities of Beverly Hills and Manhattan Beach implemented similar bans in 2021, but they allow limited exemptions, including having cigar lounges and some motel rooms designated for smoking. They still have smoking motel rooms?
Some motel rooms? Sketchy.
I don't know, but now it sounds like it'd be worth a visit. Before the bans, no Tiburon retailers sold tobacco products. The ordinance will now legalize this voluntary precedent. Tiburon is in a unique position to consider more stringent regulations as we currently have no retail tobacco sales. Town manager Greg Chanis said in a town meeting last month when the move was under consideration, the ordinance requires anti-smoking clauses in all leases for multi-unit properties. It also allows citizens to bring civil action against repeat violators. Fines for sales violations are misdemeanors ranging from $250 to $1,000 per incident. Smoking in most public places and work areas is already banned by California state laws. They just don't want to have any fun. I don't know, man. I don't smoke anymore, but I love the smell of it. I still do. It's weird.
Yeah, I do like living across the street from a tobacco barn.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Man. So, can't have fun. Can't have fun in San Francisco. Fentanyl, though, you could still do on the street in Tiburon, I've heard. That's fine. And pooping on the street, also fine. And the needles will be provided by the government. Also, the fentanyl will be provided by the government. And if you prefer crack, they can make those accommodations as well. But if you get caught with nicotine, it's over for you. Make no mistake about it. The way it should be. What the hell is going on? All right, got another story for you here in the lightning round. This one comes with some controversy. One of the most popular songs in the country right now, country music, is AI generated. Have you heard this?
No.
The song is from Breakin' Rust. Walk My Walk. This is all AI generated.
I'm talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way.
You weren't born at all, sir. Just in case you're keeping score at home, You were never born. You were created. People are upset. People are upset. I got an article here from Whiskey Riff. An AI-generated country song is topping a Billboard chart, and that should infuriate all of us. Over the past couple of years, we've seen AI-generated music take off like a rocket on TikTok and other platforms. With advances in technology, a lot of these songs are nearly indistinguishable from the real thing, which obviously poses a risk to actual artists, songwriters, and fans who value real art over AI slop. No. You will eat the slop. You will eat the slop. The big record companies want you to know. Plenty of artists have spoken out against AI-generated songs that attempt to copy their own voices, with Tennessee even passing legislation to prevent the spread of these deepfakes. But when it comes to creating original music entirely with AI, there's not many barriers to entry, which means that we're only going to see it happen more often. We got an AI country artist topping the Billboard country chart. The number one song this week on Billboard's country digital song sales chart is a song called Walk My Walk by an artist called Breaking Rust. Now, if you've never heard of Breaking Rust, it's because they're not a real artist. The song is credited to someone named Abier Rivaldo Taylor, who is also behind an artist called Def Beats AI, which posts some, pretty raunchy AI-generated songs. While Instagram page for Def Beats AI discloses that the songs are AI-generated, the Instagram for Breaking Rust describes it as only outlaw country and soul music for us, with no mention of that music being created entirely by a machine.
You've been loud too long, you can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down, I was born to rise. So
It actually sounds pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I thought it was a Morgan Wallen crossover, you know. That's what they call a Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton song.
That's where a lot of the controversy. People are like, it's not number one on Billboard. It's on the digital sales. I don't know, whatever. So how can we be sure that Breaking Rust is AI generated? Billboard themselves admitted in an article just this week on other AI artists appearing on their charts. Breaking Rust has racked up over 30,000 followers on Instagram since joining back on October 15th. And although a quick look through of the followers and the comments make it seem like a lot of those may be bots too, but even more disturbing, Breaking Rust is up to 1.8 million monthly listeners on Spotify. How many of them do you think know that it's not a real artist?
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
This is true. Billboard is legitimizing this AI slop by including it on their charts, Whiskey Riff continues. And look, I get the computers have had a place in music for a long time. EDM music is largely created using computers, but it also requires an actual artist with actual talent to mix and create the music. Argue over the quality of the art if you want, but you can't argue that there are massively successful EDM artists putting in work to create that art. With these AI songs, it's simply a computer spitting them out. I'd be upset. Would you be upset if you were a musician?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do better than computers. That's what I would tell you. I'm just kidding. I have musician friends, and I can hear their anger. How dare you? How dare you? So that's the number one on the Billboard digital charts. Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust.
oh, kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
1150 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Metro Police investigating a road rage shooting downtown. Details coming up at noon on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11:55, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Sam Rutherford producing, and we got Chad Benson in studio.
What's up?
Have you heard the new AI country song?
Which one?
The one by Break and Rust.
No, I haven't heard that one.
It went to number one. Walk My Walk. I was fine with it until he said I was born this way. And I said, slow down there, computer.
It doesn't know it wasn't born this way.
You were never born.
Not according to it. I know the first AI singer has actually got radio airplay now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's that?
It's the R&B chick that came out. She's already been signed, and she's getting radio airplay all over the place right now.
That's bananas. Apparently, this is number one on Billboard's digital charts.
Really?
Hold on there. Let me reload that. There you go. This is not
You
gonna
can
work.
kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way.
You weren't born.
Let me ask you a weird question. I think it's probably be a good one for Bell, too, because he was the record guy. I wonder who, because if you're on, depending on where you're making that, what do you get? What do they get?
That's a good point.
Right? Like they have to get something.
He's getting this AI artist is getting 1.8 million monthly listens on Spotify.
Yeah. There's another group that has a full group, and people just learned like a month ago, they're not real. They have 800,000 subscribers monthly on Spotify with millions of listens. And I'm like, who gets that? Because it's not real.
Well, and do you think that the 1.8 million people listening every month know that it's not real? Or are they assuming that this is a real person?
No, they probably know. Because if you like somebody, you're going to go look it up, right?
Fair.
So, but there's a lot of people that just hear it and think it's cool, and probably at first they don't know.
That's wild.
And then it starts to grow, and then people want to see.
It's a wild time.
It is a wild time.
Yeah.
Wild time.
Yeah, man.
So, what'd you talk about today?
We talked about the San Francisco town that is banning smoking. Can't sell it, but fentanyl's fine. We talked about the 50-year mortgage. I can't wait to hear you love a good 50-year mortgage.
Gee,
who wouldn't want to sign up to just have the bank be your landlord for life?
For life. You're never paying that thing off.
Life, no.
I mean, you're never, and the amount of money it takes decades for you to even start to accrue any kind of equity inside your home because you're paying back that thing forever.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is to own. You're not owning something. The bank owns you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. The bank owns you.
And then we did $2,000 stimmies. Those stimmies are back on the menu.
Yeah.
I hate that too.
And then Besson's like, could be tax credits. I'm like, why don't you guys hold on to that? Put it towards
the debts?
Yeah, the debt, which is never supposed to be paid down in real life. It's always supposed to be kind of, because it was kind of meant to be spinning around out there somewhat, not to this extent. But the reality is why don't you hold off just in case you have to pay some of that back if the tariffs don't go your way?
Well, that's what somebody's saying. This is Trump trying to throw a monkey wrench in because could you imagine the accounting hell that would happen if they send those checks out and then you got to pay that back?
Yeah. Do you think he wants his face on there? I know he wants his name on the stadium in
Did you
D.C.
see that? I love that idea. They'll never give him that stadium.
No.
But the flyover was amazing.
The flyover was really cool.
The flyover, it was the greatest flyover that's ever happened.
I'm going to swear in a lot of great people right now. I'm a little bit late. I just want to say, was that the greatest flyover ever?
It was.
Nobody's ever done a flyover like that. So these are the best pilots in the world. They say whoever flies Air Force One, the best pilots.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that's true.
I absolutely think that's so hilarious. Never been a flyover like this ever in the history of forever.
It was pretty wild.
It was pretty wild.
Salty liberals just coping and seething.
It was pretty wild. It was. I was like, oh, check that. Oh, they scored a touchdown with me in the booth. Biggest ratings ever. I'm like, no, it's not. These teams are awful.
What are you talking about today?
We're going to talk about, we'll do a little 50-year mortgage. We're going to talk about the BBC and their giant flail. Which was hilarious.
Oh, I didn't even get to that today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff. Talk about the government, like what really happens from here, because everybody thinks it's over. It's not over yet.
No, we got some more steps.
Yeah, got a few more steps and how that works, and a bunch of other baloney we're going to have fun with today. And it's 50 years ago today something happened, and we will discuss.
50. You know what else? 60 years ago today, something else happened.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm just sure it was something.
70 years ago, nothing happened. It's a very quiet day.
80 years ago, nothing happened.
And never happens.
Nothing ever happens. Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.